Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Ross. We're here for another Learning with Line 6. Let's do the awkward bit and make sure all the sound is okay. So let me know if we can hear my voice, and this is what the guitar sounds like. It's kind of loud. And there's a delay. So this is where I awkwardly fill with random words until someone says that everything is okay. Hopefully we've got a few people in, and the noise is fine. I think we're good this end. Just let me know everything is cool. So, let's get cracking. Today we're going to talk about snapshots. Now, I know we've covered snapshots a few times. I've talked about them. Tony and Nick have talked about them. We've gone through them before, but it seems to be something that I see on forums that keep coming up time and time again. Here we go, look. Pixelot's back. Evening, sir. Oh, good morning, sorry. Here, voice and guitar, fine, cool. Trevor says no audio. Huh. Don't know. Let me know if it is fixed, Trevor, but I've not changed anything, and everything seems to be working over in YouTube land. So, we're going to go through snapshots, what they are, how you get to them, how you program them, and some kind of cool tricks. So this is the kind of way, there we go, right, marvelous. So this is the way I look at snapshots. If you've seen the film Inception, I compare it to that. So a snapshot is a preset within a preset. So your actual preset, so in this case, what I've got here that you'll see in a minute is 29D. The preset is, I look at that as being a rig, and then the snapshot and my presets within that. So previous to using Helix, I was using one of the gig rig switches. So just a switching system, various pedals, and an amp. And I guess with a switching system, you're essentially doing the same thing as snapshot. So you're accessing whatever you have within that rig. So you preset, you build a rig, pedals, amps, cabs, yada, yada, yada. And then the snapshots you program to turn various things on and off within that preset. Hopefully that makes sense. That's how I kind of understand it and how I kind of taught myself what they are. And that worked for me. So hopefully it works for you. Now, you may not have heard of snapshots. You get them in all the HX family products and PodGo. So this theory kind of goes across the whole range. And they're really, really cool. You can do some clever things with them, or you can keep it really simple. So let's get in and look at how you get to them, because out of the box, you won't have them to hand. So we need to find them. So let me go full screen. So this is my current board, gigging board. And it's a little bit of a mess, sorry, and there's stuff everywhere. Apologies. So this is kind of what Helix looks like when you get it out of the box. You've got all your kind of presets laid out there. Happy days. It's a beautiful thing. Now, if you press the three lines and then go to global settings, get your joystick, go to foot switches, you'll see this mode. Preset mode switches. So at the moment, it's on 8 presets. That's what we get out of the box. If you just turn that, you'll see we get various different things on there. So we've got presets and instant access to stomps. Same again, but the other way around. And then we get into snapshots. So you can have access 4 presets on the top, and then 4 snapshots on the bottom. Other way around. Snaps, instant access. This is generally how I have mine set up. But I've changed it, which will go, I'll show you in another preset, which is pretty cool. So 4 snapshots on the bottom. So essentially how I do it is clean through to filthy, and then I can add any of these to any of these snapshots, which is pretty cool. And then 8 snapshots in total. And that's basically what we're looking at. So you will see I've kind of pre-programmed some stuff into this particular one. I'm going to try and keep looking at the screen. Snapshots are great, allows you to make different parameter changes. Yes, ooh, yes, we will get to that. So this is what we're looking at. So we'll leave it on 8 snapshots for now, and then I'll show you some other cool stuff you can do with it. So that's how you get into them. So how do you program them? So if I want to take snapshot 1, for example, At the moment, all I have on this is amp and reverb. If I sound a little sniffy, by the way, and keep sniffing, apologies, the hay fever is well and truly kicking in. And that kind of thing just sounds like that. So just for reference, can turn it up a little bit in the room. Just for reference, I've got the divided by duo amp, and we're going through the Interstate 212 with a 160 ribbon, 1.5 inches from the grill. Everything else is kind of stock on there. There are the settings for the divided, and yeah, with a little bit of reverb, it sounds like that. Just so you know, by the way. Ooh. There you go. Guitar I'm using, marvelous. Yamaha RevStar RSS 20. It's a beautiful thing. Go and check them out. As we were. Right, there we go. So if I want to, every time I go to that snapshot, I want the dry amp. That's fine. I'm good with that. If I go to snapshot 2, you will see that the compressor now turns on. And that's essentially it. So I maybe should have not pre-programmed this, but... So, and you'll have to forgive me, I need to clean my switches. So now these are two exactly the same snapshots. If I want to go to snapshot 2 and have the compressor turned on, I just go into Stompbox mode. Incidentally, if you want to clean the switches, press and turn. There you go. I just go into Stompbox mode, hit the compressor, and that's it. That's how simple it is to program a snapshot. So I've got dry, or should I say no effects, and then I've got the compressor. And you do that for each and every snapshot, and you basically build up presets within here. So snapshot 3, I have the compressor on, and I turn on the air apparent, so kind of a crunchy. I can turn the compressor off as well, and again, every time I go to that. Then snapshot 4, I've turned all the things on. So if I want to add just progressively even more gain, so I go in and go, okay, on this one, I want all these three and some delay. And then snapshot 6, I'm going to have, there we go, and some phaser. It's literally this easy. Boom. And there you go. So you will see as I press each snapshot, various things are turning on and off. What that means is, obviously, if I go from, I'm just using the top path here. If I had all my presets like this, then I can actually remove the bottom path and go into preset spillover. But I don't want to do that because I have presets where I use the bottom path as well. Now, if I go from one preset to the next where I'm using that, then I'm going to get a small kind of gap in the sound. I won't get delay or reverb trails, and I like those. So I want it so when I switch to a different sound, say I go from a lead sound back to the kind of crunchy rhythm thing. Yeah, no delay on that one. And you have to have trails turned on, Ross. Like that. Easy. There you go. So there's no gap in sound, and you get those kind of reverb and delay trails spilling over, which I really like. Now, let's say, so this is kind of my crunchy sound, I guess. If I go back in, this is where you can do really cool stuff. So that's the basics of programming. that's the basics of programming snapshots. It's really simple, and it is just a case of select your snapshot, go into stompbox mode, or use your joystick. You can do it there as well, or on HX Edit, whichever way you want to do it. And you can name the snapshots, which you'll see in the next preset. And you just turn on or off what you want on or off, and it's as simple as that. That's the kind of bare bones basics for snapshots. But this is where it starts to get cool. So, I'll go back here. Let's say, so I want to go to snapshot 3, and that's that was my crunchy sound with the air apparent. But actually, I want to use the amp gain. But currently, as it stands, the amp is set pretty clean. So what I do, I go in and go, right, okay, I want to crank the drive. So I just push and turn the drive knobs, and you'll see the numbers will go white and go into brackets. And we'll do the same again. And I want to maybe add a little bit of presence and crank the tone up a little bit. And maybe, yeah, why not? Essentially, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm completely changing the amp, and you will see this. So I can go back into there. So snapshot 1, they're the original settings. And when I go here, you'll see everything's cranked. So that's pretty cool, and you can do that with everything. 64 parameters at the same time, so you can really get involved with it. Change any parameter on any amp, cab, effect. Let's say I want to go to my lead preset there, so you'll see the controls have gone back. I can just give that a little bit more juice, maybe roll that off. If I want to darken that up, I can even go to the cab and go, right, okay, I'm going to go from the 160 ribbon, and I'm going to actually change that to the 121. So you'll see every other snapshot except that one is on the 160. So I think that. If I want snapshot 1 to be kind of a little bit more scooped, I might go to the 421. Turn these off. Hey! I think that's brilliant because there's some amp models that I want to use the amp gain, but it also sounds great clean, so you can just completely transform the amp. And again, when you go to the cab sim, you change the mic, as we've talked about a few times. That totally changes the sound as well. So you've got options. You can really get involved and get in and just change everything. There's certain drive pedals, again, you might want for your clean sound, you might want an overdrive that's lower gain just to give it a little bit of a boost, but for a crunchy sound, kind of crank that gain up without having to have the same effect or amp in a separate block. I hope that makes sense. So here's something that I've been messing around with recently. So if we go to the next one, so this is kind of essentially my main preset. What am I using? The Lone Star. Yeah. So Cali, Texas channel 1. Nothing's really changing on that. Yeah, but you can kind of see what I've laid out here. Now, same deal. It's exactly the same concept. So I'm just going through. You'll see some of these effects loop turning on. That's these things here. Yeah. That's with everything on because, you know, Lukather. But if I go into stomp mode, you're going to see a completely different layout. Now, I've talked about this in a previous live stream where you can completely reconfigure the pedal board. So generally, this is how I like my board laid out. Now, previously it was preset up and down, and then 4 snapshots, and then 4 instant access. But that was only to kind of save, storing extra kind of presets or whatever. So what I've got now, I've got all my kind of my 5 main crunch kind of clean through to lead, and then I've got kind of a louder lead for clean. You see that's changed because I didn't do something, so we'll skip that. And then but again, I can go into any one of these and add the effects loop 1. So I've got 2 pedals in there, Kid Katana Boost and the J Rocket HRM, and I can use those as a boost. I'll turn that on. Or on the clean sound. You get the idea. What I would normally do with this, so those off, I would go, right, okay, for my lead sound, now I have a calligraphic here, that's acting as my boost. Now you see I've actually cut my 0.3 dB there because these frequencies are boosted and it will get louder. But for my lead sound, I might not want to rely on that, so I'll go in and I'll go channel volume, just give that a little bit of a push. Everything else is kind of a nice even level. Then when I go to the lead, it's just that touch louder, and again, like we said earlier, I can go, kind of noisy, I can go through any of the parameters. So if I want the amp kind of on the edge of breakup because it works better that way with certain type of pedal or boost, then that can work too. So that's the kind of great stuff you can do with snapshots. It's not just, if you want to keep it simple, just turn things on and off. You can have as little or up to 8 as you like, which is just brilliant. I mean, you can do all these cool things and completely transform your sound. You can't, one thing you can't do, worth bearing in mind, you can't change, say, you have the Cali Texas channel 1, and for a dirty sound you want to use channel 2, you can't actually change the model in the block. You can only change the parameters of that particular block, if that makes sense. Here we go, where are we? Kevin says, Dave says, still have my Spider 3 head and cap, marvelous. Kevin, good afternoon. Never used Snapshot on my Helix, still new to it. Is it better than using Stompbox mode? We'll put you on the screen. Do you want to use stompbox mode, or do you want to use snapshots? That's kind of your call. If you're replacing a pedal board and you're used to doing the tap dancing thing, then that's fine. Use stompbox mode. It's essentially the same thing. So really quick, semi-boring story. So when Helix was first released, we didn't have snapshots, and because I was used to using a switching system and the way that kind of switched, Helix didn't fully work for me. There was a gap between the presets, and I had to either use presets or stomps, and I'd kind of spent a ton of money getting away from tap dancing whilst I'm singing. So when we upgraded Helix and we added snapshots, it was like, right, great, now we're talking. And honestly, there was still a little bit kind of making me hang on to the old board because of the way snapshots worked. You could either have 4 or 8, and I kind of wanted 5 or 6 kind of snapshots, I guess, because that's what I was used to, and then a bunch of incident access. So again, with firmware updates, we added that feature, and that's kind of what you see on this preset. We just kind of, you access as many as you want, and then the instant access to pedals, boost or delay or gain or whatever. So I thought that was brilliant. It really, whether you use stompbox mode or snapshots is entirely up to you. Try them both. Snapshots are dead easy to program, and you don't have to use them, but try it is the only thing I can say. Deep Zep, sorry. Love these vids, really helpful. Thank you very much. Will you be talking about stacking snapshots on one switch? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by stacking. Ah, right, yeah, sorry. Yes, I do. So there's a cool trick, which I think I stored. Give me 2 seconds. Right, okay. So I'm going to go to that. So the command center, how I've done this, you could set this. So it's basically press and release or press and hold. So essentially now, excuse me, there are 2 snapshots on this foot switch. So I just go, it's clean. If I hold it, it goes to clean lead. So you can actually, yeah, you can, when you hold that foot switch down, you can go to a different snapshot entirely, which I think is really cool and really quite useful. Excuse me. Pixelot said, tip for HX Stomp users from Steve. You can effectively increase the number of snapshots by duplicating the preset in the next slot after the original, then edit those snapshots as needed. Yeah, absolutely. And if you use the preset spillover along with snapshots, then, I mean, the world is your lobster. You can do all kinds of wonderful things. Switch between the 2 presets when needed. Yeah, totally. So, another thing that I kind of didn't really think about, and it does take a little bit of organization. So I did some work last week. A guy called Owen, who is frontman for a band called The Hoosiers. He's just got a Helix, and we were going through programming some presets, and he wanted it laid out a certain way because he's the lead singer, and he came from a big rack full of gear and a MIDI switching system, and he had it set up a particular way, and we were trying to work a few things out, and he wanted it to switch like this, which I'll show you now, and I thought this was pretty cool. So I've kind of stolen one of his presets here. Oh, Tony Campanovo in the house. Hey, dude. Right. I thought this was brilliant. So Owen sings, and he doesn't really want to do the tap dancing thing, and although snapshots will prevent that, you've still got to kind of look down and see what snapshot you want to do. So his idea, I say his idea, the way he was used to working was have one button to scroll through his snapshots, or essentially through his presets. So he would just organize them. So within each song, you'd have a preset per song, and he would know the sounds for intro, verse, chorus, or whatever. So that's kind of what we set up for him, and that's it. So we assigned this button to literally scroll through all of his different sounds. These are not his sounds. This is just something I set up earlier. But it means that if you're a little bit organized, all you've got to do is press one button, the same button, and not have to look down. And if you kind of mess up and you go a little too far, we've got the one there just to go down. And it really is, again, it's that simple. And I've been through the levels. Kind of did a lot of ambient stuff, but you get the idea. So I thought that was quite an interesting way of working. So again, if you're kind of getting yourself organized, you have a preset that you load up for the song, and you just want to hit one button and everything change. Fantastic. I think I've talked about this before as well. Within that snapshot, if you want to send a MIDI command to Ableton, you're running the show from Ableton, and that maybe starts a click or does something to a DMX program that changes the light show that you're running, then you can totally do that as well. So some really cool stuff that you can do with something actually as simple as snapshots, and a lot of fun. So there we go. I think that about covers it. I just wanted to kind of revisit snapshots, because again, although we do talk about them a lot, and hopefully we kind of go into a little bit of detail, we're not done anything on these for a little while, and like I say, there's a lot of new Helix owners out there that maybe don't know what they are or don't understand them. So if you missed the first bit, check out snapshots. They're basically a preset within a preset, like Inception. Kind of cool. And you can do a ton of stuff with them. Video is going to be saved on the Facebook and YouTube page, so if you did miss anything, you can go back. And there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I believe we have Nick Bell up next week. But yeah, same place, same time. We're going to carry on with these. If you have anything, any requests for anything you want us to cover, then put them in the comments, and let us know. Thank you so much for watching. As ever, stay safe, stay well, play with your Helix, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.